back to the Diabetic Diet Show.
Hi everyone, welcome to Thanksgiving dinner. This is show number 225. We're going to start with appetizers and the ingredients. I have cheese and crackers, bruschetta, and tortilla chips. Hawaiian rolls are in the toaster. And for the meal, we have a big turkey.
Yes.
And we have one in the oven, too. We have stuffing, or you might call it dressing. We have also potatoes, spinach with garlic and onions, of course, salt and pepper. And, of course, we have a big chocolate cake that we're going to make. So let's get started. Let's start out with our Tampade and avocado and our bruschetta. These two are the easiest, so let's roll with those. So all I'm going to do is take the peel. These are hot. Watch yourself. Throw them right there. Let them cool a little bit. Stir this up a little bit here. If you want, why don't you grab a new clean spoon? We'll cheat. And we'll leave these spoons in here just like that. We'll clean up the edge. So our guest, Chef Bill, it's a real honor to have you here today and do this with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So Pico de Gallo, the difference is it has in it cilantro and jalapenos.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people like it. But I'm Italian, okay? So what I did was I just took a can of tomato sauce, but I bought one that was spiced already. And then I just took some small cherry tomatoes, and last night we cut them up. And then we put it all in that pickle jar, and I put it in the refrigerator for overnight so that it will kind of ferment and get better. What we need to do with that is, besides putting it in a plate and a bowl, is we need to put some vinegar and oil in it. And I have a lot of different kinds of vinegar. I've been using a pecan. So all I'm going to do is just take the plate here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to have you grab another spoon for me. And also give me that bottle of olive oil, please. So I'm just going to take the vinegar. I'm just going to fill up a spoon, let it overflow. Give that to you. Set it there. Here's the lid. Put the lid back on it. Still dripping. I had to wait for it to drip. Here's some olive oil. You know how olive oil is, the more the merrier, especially if you're on a keto diet. So let's put that in like that. This one to you, we're done with this one. Now there should be salt and pepper on the table, there is, so you guys can add any salt and pepper that you want to this. You know, when you're cooking for people, you normally only put in just the minimal amount of salt and pepper because it can be strong. And heaven knows I have over-salted food by accident. Is that a mild understatement? One time I put in too much ginger.
Yeah.
Ginger's hot. I'll tell you, ginger is hot. Another time, yeah, really, yeah. Yeah, Marianne was hot too. All of us kids that grew up in the 70s, we loved Ginger and Marianne. And some people like the professor. So we have that all done. And Gilligan. We have some of these. And the turkey is in the oven. It is cooking. Please, 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 everybody, digital thermometer of some sort. Make sure it's 165, 170, 175. I know they have pop-ups on them, but they make all kinds of thermometers. I have a whole video on this. Please use thermometers. Make sure your food is cooked well. So what we did was, last night, my faithful assistant Barb washed up a pound of small little red potatoes. And I let these soak all night long in salt water. They should be totally awesome. I love these mandolins, and they're cheap. And as a matter of fact, if you watch my shows, if you subscribe, you're going to see I have a new show coming out, which is all of these slices. I bought a whole bunch of slicers, dicers. They just came in yesterday, UPS, so I'm going to do a whole big show about that. So as a matter of fact, if you want to get notified, what you do is you click on the subscribe button that's right now down in the lower right-hand corner. And if you hit the bell button, you'll get notified when I drop that new video. But also, too, you don't have to write a lot of these ingredients and things down. Just go to my website, which is jamestdds.blogspot.com. And there you'll see the picture of the show, and you can watch the video from there. And also all the ingredients and the measurements and things are all there. So let's start out with slicing. I have to show you this toy. I don't know what I paid for this thing, but I got to tell you, once you get it kind of lubed a little bit with the potato, is that cool?
Very cool.
I mean, and easy. So easy to use. Even a caveman could do this. Of course, they didn't have plastic back in the caveman days. So his slicer would have been made out of stone. And when he moved from one cave to the other, he probably didn't take it with him. Okay, Bill, you're down to your last couple of potatoes here, huh?
Yep. Almost done.
This is what you learn when you go into service. This is the first thing you learn in the service, is how to peel potatoes. People think they're going to go and be a side gunner on a helicopter or something, and they spend the first year peeling potatoes.
All right, all done.
Yeah, plenty. All right. I'll give you this. Make sure I don't step on your microphone wire. I had a customer once. I was at his house. Real nice old man. I used to go fix his furnace all the time, and he just loved me. Okay. So I'm over there talking to him one day, and I noticed he's kind of giving me like a funny look. And I look at him, he had oxygen with a cannula in his nose, and I was standing on the oxygen hose. I don't think I was killing him, but it was pretty funny. He looked at me, and I looked at him, and we laughed. It was pretty good. I think all we need to do is just dump these in the water.
Okay.
When the water's... Now let's make some dressing, stovetop stuffing, whatever you want to call it. The ingredients call for 3 cups of water, and we're substituting a chicken broth. So we're going to go 2 cups and stop right there. That's good. Dump that in your pan, then we'll put 1 more cup in. While he's putting that in, I'm going to cut up celery. So I like to put the celery on the top after it's all done. Makes it nice and crunchy. Really, really good. So I cut the celery down the center, nice and slow. Be careful so food doesn't roll on you. Keep your fingers like that. That's why you always cut the bottom off like a onion or something. So it doesn't, then you put it down flat so it doesn't roll on you.
Put the butter in.
Yeah, go ahead, open that up and put that whole stick in, because it calls for a half a stick per box, and we have 2 boxes. Enjoying my brand new knives. These knives are awesome. Thank you to whoever made these. I'm sure somebody, this is their life. They make these knives, their livelihood. I'm sure they're very proud of them. They should be. They are fantastic here, so I'm just going to use my bench scraper, just like that. Okay, set that off to the side. We're done with that for now. Let's make the spinach next. I bought these packages. Now you can buy spinach 3 different ways. This is frozen. You can buy it in the can, which is anything in a can is going to be salty. They use preservatives. Or you could buy fresh. Now if you bought fresh instead of this particular one, and I'm sure any brand is good, I just happened to get this one delivered from my grocery store. Fresh, you get a whole great big bundle of it, and it cooks down to about this big. Plus, I have concerns about how clean the fresh stuff is, being handled, sitting around in a store and being breathed on. This went right from the field to the factory, where it was rinsed, and then it was frozen down to -70, packaged, and has been delivered and packaged ever since. You don't even open these. All you do is you throw them in the microwave. Now, it depends on what microwave you have. I have a 700 watt, so for me, it says about 8 minutes per package. And then they automatically open up themselves. But then what we're going to do is we're going to saute up some onions, garlic, and white wine with that. Potatoes are ready to go into the water. The water is boiling. So very carefully, I'm going to put these in here. Let's start by cutting up our onion. So I just make a little slit right like that, and then you can pop the canopy off. Then you put a slit in about every 1/4 of an inch. Spin it around. Try not to stab your fingers, especially if you're a retired firefighter, first aid medic, because you just have to treat yourself. Then I just hold it like this. Notice how I got the flat spot down so I won't hurt myself. And I cut around the core. Go ahead, turn it. Now garlic. For me, more garlic the better. I'm going to use at least 2 per box, and I have 2 boxes. And I'm going to pick a couple of nice, good big ones here. I love large garlic. So with the garlic, I'm going to get everything all clean and organized here. Let's go ahead and get started on the garlic. We're going to knock the end off each side of the garlic. Still has the wax paper on it. Now some of these come apart easier than others. Seems to depend on how ripe it is and how refrigerated it is or not. Flat spot down on the garlic when you go to cook. Try not to cook on a rocky edge here. Then I'm just going to kind of clean a little bit up here. Everything goes right into the wastebasket. Then you take your container and you put your garlic in it like this. And you put your lid on your container, just like this, and you shake it. And when you shake it like that, it takes the wax paper off. Let's get started now on doing the garlic, olive oil, and butter, and then we'll put the spinach in, and then we'll put the splash of wine in at the end. Also, let's check the turkey, see what temperature he is. I mean, Tom. I probably could read it, but just for the fun of it, I think I'll put my glasses on. Tom is done. He's 192. This looks absolutely perfect. And it smells great. Now that has to rest for about 12 minutes. Because when we cooked it, we opened all the cells in the turkey. We have to let them all reconnect to each other to put the juice inside the turkey. Otherwise, it'll be dry. Spinach is almost done. I'm bringing these out of the microwave. I've cooked it, but now we just want to saute. So that should be open. The reason that you use the olive oil with the butter is because butter will burn. So it doesn't take as much or as high of a temperature for butter to burn as it does olive oil. So by putting the olive oil in, besides the delicious taste of olive oil, you're going to get where it will burn for you. And of course, regular Mazola type cooking oil can get hotter and it won't burn. So that's why you use that kind of stuff when you're going to deep fry something. You're going to deep fry chicken. Probably not good to do it in olive oil. I do have peanut oil that I use once in a while when I do my Asian dinners. And I've done a lot of Asian dinners, and I have a lot more coming up. I got a lot of shows that are recorded that haven't been edited yet. Peanut oil really does not burn. It'll smoke a little bit, but it does not burn. I love garlic. You watch my shows, you know that I love garlic. So what I'm going to propose to you is to give this liquid garlic a little bit, about a 1-inch square cube in there. Careful, it may come out fast. That is going to taste great. Now I'll tell you another little trick about garlic. Since you have a frying pan over there, and it has butter and oil, if you take a whole bulb like this and you just cut off straight across one end, you could set the whole bulb in the frying pan and let it sit there for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And you make that fried garlic, and it will be great. Basically, that's what this is. This is not raw garlic. This has been cooked, and that's why this is so good. Did you put a good amount in there?
Yes, I did.
You'll love it. I mean, this is... Put that on everything. The only thing now you smell the garlic and the olive oil?
Yes.
Yeah. Starting to smell good, isn't it? So since we microwaved it, we basically cooked it, but we have to mix it with the saute of the onions and garlic. There you go. Smelling good. Let's go ahead and put in some salt and pepper now. Salt to taste, pepper to taste, and don't put in too much because you can always put in more later. Since it's the holidays and you want the house to smell good, if cooking isn't enough, my golly, don't you think it ought to be, you can gilt the lily a little bit by taking some water in an aluminum pan, putting some cinnamon in that pan, and then I like to take an orange and just cut up an orange, knock off your ends. You can throw them in whole like that if you want, but they'll probably fit in the pan better if you do a little plus sign across the top of these. So you notice I'm using the top of the orange. And then you just take your pan and you throw these in your pan with the cut side down. Just like this. And then you throw it on the burner and get it boiling, and it'll make the house smell good. I can smell it already. Smell that?
Smells wonderful.
We need that new fancy smell-o-vision. That's coming out next year. And then what I do is I take my lemons, oranges, whatever I have that I'm using for cooking other things, and I go ahead and cut them up, and I use them for garnish. Just like that. Or you could, if it's a lemon, you could use it to clean your cutting board. You know, that's a good way to clean your cutting board is rub lemon over it. So we'll save those and we'll use those for garnish on the plate. All we got to do is wait for that to be done. We're like all set, ready to go. We can start, we'll be able to start plating stuff up here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and put in some wine now. And this should taste pretty good. We'll just spritz a little bit in there just like that. That'll be great. And then if you want, hand me the stovetop stuffing pan. You can put that right here. Okay. I'll take that and then I'll take this ladle and you can put the spinach in that bowl. Success so far, we haven't burnt anything. You know, if you set the smoke detector off, usually it means dinner's done. But then when the doorbell rings, it means dinner's ready. Potatoes. There's our potatoes. That's looking good. And I think what I will do is I'll go ahead and salt. Fortunately, I don't have much left in this salt shaker, but I'm just shaking into my hand so I can see what's going. And I'm using heavy kosher salt. Potatoes get twice as much salt as everything else does. That's the rule of thumb. Salting potatoes, they get twice as much as everything else. And black pepper. Just like that. Then we need our celery. We take our celery and just like that. There you go. There's our meal. Potatoes. Celery on top of our stovetop stuffing. Spinach. Now all we need is one big turkey. So, well, it looks fantastic. Everything from the potatoes that were boiled in salt water, and then our stovetop stuffing dressing mix, which was made with the chicken broth rather than water. That's going to be a lot better. And of course, our spinach was made with butter and garlic and olive oil and onions. So that is going to be fantastic. I have some oranges to garnish the plates with. And I think I'll just, let's go ahead and start serving up here. This is going to be delicious. Just going to kind of dig in. Well, while I serve this, I probably should let all of you go eat. So thanks for joining us today. Happy Thanksgiving or happy 4th of July, whenever you're watching this video. This is going to be an extremely delicious meal, and I'm excited to eat. So we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye for now.